Today we're diving into the extraordinary life of Hedy Lamarr, a woman whose beauty captivated Hollywood, but whose mind revolutionized technology. Born into privilege in Vienna, she broke free from societal constraints, escaping an oppressive marriage and rising to stardom in Hollywood. But her story doesn't stop there. Behind the glitz and glamour was an inventor whose groundbreaking ideas laid the foundation for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. From her early childhood to her scientific achievements, scandals, and relationships, Hedy's life is a tale of resilience, brilliance, and complexity. So let's unravel the fascinating journey of this trailblazing icon, Hedy Lamarr, born Hedwig Eva Maria Kiesler on November 9, 1914, though some records suggest 1913, in Vienna, Austria, came from a distinguished and affluent Jewish family with a rich cultural and intellectual heritage. Her father, Emil Kiesler, hailed from a Jewish family with roots in Galicia, specifically in Lemberg, now Lviv, Ukraine, which was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Emil worked as the deputy director of the prestigious Wiener Bankverein during the 1920s and later became the director of the Unified Kreditanstalt Bankverein. Known for his analytical mind and deep appreciation for technology, Emil often spent time with young Hedy, taking her on long walks through Vienna and explaining how various machines and devices function, from cars to printing presses. These moments fostered her innate curiosity and laid the foundation for her future as an inventor. Hedy's mother, Gertrude Trude Kiesler, née Lichtwitz, was a talented concert pianist of Hungarian Jewish descent, born in Budapest. Trude came from an upper-class family, but later converted to Catholicism, becoming a devout practitioner. While she raised Hedy as a Catholic, the young girl was not baptized. Trude eventually gave up her musical career to dedicate herself to raising her only child, providing her with a strict upbringing focused on discipline and refinement. Trude's high expectations emphasized perfect manners, poise, and appearance, molding Hedy into a polished young woman who could navigate Vienna's elite social circles. As an only child, Hedy experienced both indulgence and pressure. She lived in luxury, attending some of Vienna's most prestigious private schools, where she studied literature, music, and languages. Despite these privileges, Hedy showed little interest in formal education. Her rebellious streak often led her to skip classes or run away from school to explore the vibrant city on her own, much to her parents' dismay. These acts of defiance hinted at the independent spirit and determination that would later define her life and career. Even as a child, Hedy displayed an early fascination with art and creativity. She was captivated by the glamour of cinema and theater, often losing herself in dreams of performing on stage or screen. At just 12 years old, she won a beauty contest in Vienna, an early indication of the stunning looks that would later make her a Hollywood icon. Beyond her artistic aspirations, Hedy's interest in technology and invention was deeply influenced by her father's teachings. His explanations of mechanical devices ignited her imagination and planted the seeds for her later work as a groundbreaking inventor. Despite her privileged upbringing, Hedy was keenly aware of the societal and familial constraints placed on women. These limitations likely fueled her desire to break free from traditional expectations, paving the way for her bold decisions and unconventional life path. From a young girl with dreams of creative expression to a trailblazer in Hollywood and science, Hedy Lamarr's early years were marked by a blend of privilege, rebellion, and an unyielding curiosity about the world around her. Hedy Lamarr's earliest forays into acting laid the foundation for her eventual rise as an international icon. Her journey began almost serendipitously while she was studying acting in Vienna. One day, she visited Sasha Film Studios to deliver a note from her mother, but was instead hired as a script supervisor. This initial behind-the-scenes role soon opened the door to on-screen opportunities. She landed a minor role as an extra in the romantic comedy Geld auf der Straße, Money on the Street, 1930. Her first speaking role came shortly after in the comedy Sturm im Wasserglas, Storm in a Teacup, 1931, where she began to gain recognition for her presence on screen. During this period, her talents caught the attention of the famed Austrian theater producer Max Reinhardt, who cast her in The Weaker Sex, a stage production at the prestigious theater in der Josefstadt. Reinhardt was so impressed by her potential that he took her with him to Berlin, intending to further mentor her. Despite this promising move, Lamarr did not formally train with Reinhardt in Berlin, nor perform in any of his productions there. Instead, she connected with Russian theater and film director Alexis Granowski, who was making his directorial debut with the surrealist comedy Die Koffer de Herrn O.F., The Trunks of Mr. O.F., 1931. In this film, Lamarr worked alongside actors Walter Abel and Peter Lorre, marking her first significant on-screen role. Although Granowski relocated to Paris soon after the film's release, Lamarr chose to remain in Berlin to continue building her acting career. In 1932, she secured her first leading role in the comedy Man braucht kein Geld, No Money Needed, directed by Carl Bose. The film showcased her growing charisma and acting abilities, making her a recognizable name in German cinema. Her breakthrough on the international stage came in 1933 with the Czech-Austrian film Ecstasy, directed by Gustav Maschati. In this controversial romantic drama, Lamarr played Eva, a young woman trapped in a loveless marriage who seeks emotional and physical connection with another man. The film's daring portrayal of female desire and its groundbreaking nude scenes shocked audiences worldwide and brought Lamarr instant fame, though it also sparked significant backlash. Religious leaders, including Pope Pius XI, condemned the film, while governments in Germany, the United States, and elsewhere banned it. Despite the controversy, Ecstasy was lauded for its artistic cinematography and emotional depth, establishing Lamarr as a bold and captivating performer. These early roles not only shaped Lamarr's career, but also hinted at her ability to take risks and challenge societal norms. Her work during this period demonstrated her versatility, transitioning from light comedies to provocative dramas, and prepared her for the major roles she would later undertake in Hollywood. While Ecstasy remains her most well-known European film, her performances in Sturm im Wasserglas and Man braucht kein Geld revealed the budding talent of an actress destined for global stardom. In 1937, seeking freedom from her controlling husband Friedrich Mendel and the escalating dangers of fascism in Europe, Hedy fled Austria. She first went to Paris and then to London, where she crossed paths with Hollywood mogul Louis B. Mayer. Initially hesitant to hire her due to her association with Ecstasy, Mayer eventually offered her a 7-year contract with MGM on the condition that she reinvent herself with an American-sounding name. Thus, Hedwig Kiesler became Hedy Lamarr, inspired by silent film actress Barbara Lamarr. Hedy made her Hollywood debut in 1938 in Algiers, opposite Charles Boyer. Her stunning beauty and enigmatic presence captivated audiences, earning her the title of the most beautiful woman in the world. The film was a hit, and she quickly became one of MGM's most bankable stars. Throughout the late 1930s and 1940s, she appeared in a series of successful films, including Boomtown, 1940, Alongside Clark Gable and Spencer Tracy, Ziegfeld Girl, 1941, with Judy Garland and Lana Turner, and the biblical epic Samson and Delilah, 1949, directed by Cecil B. DeMille. In Samson and Delilah, her portrayal of Delilah showcased not only her beauty, but also her ability to bring complexity to a role that required both seduction and betrayal. Despite her success, Hedy was selective with her roles, often turning down significant opportunities. She famously rejected the lead role in Casablanca, which later went to Ingrid Bergman, and Gaslight, a role that cemented Bergman's status as a Hollywood icon. While these decisions may have limited her cinematic legacy, Hedy's impact as a Hollywood star remained undeniable. In addition to her acting career, Hedy was a trailblazing inventor. During World War II, she partnered with composer George Antheil to develop a groundbreaking frequency-hopping communication system. This technology was designed to prevent enemy forces from jamming radio-controlled torpedoes. The pair's innovation used a mechanism inspired by piano rolls, where signals would hop between frequencies in sync, making them nearly impossible to intercept. In 1942, they were awarded a patent for their secret communication system, though it was not immediately adopted by the U.S. Navy. Decades later, their invention became the basis for modern technologies like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS, earning Hedy posthumous recognition as a pioneer in telecommunications. Despite her contributions to both entertainment and technology, Hedy Lamarr's later career in Hollywood began to decline in the 1950s. She appeared in fewer films and struggled to find roles that matched her earlier successes. By the late 1950s, she retired from acting altogether, focusing instead on her personal life and her passion for painting. However, her achievements as an actress and inventor left an indelible mark on history. Hedy Lamarr's extraordinary career was not without its share of controversy and scandal. Her early fame was forever tied to her breakout role in Ecstasy, 1933, a film that shocked the conservative sensibilities of the time. The movie's depiction of nudity and a woman's sexual pleasure sparked outrage worldwide. It was banned in numerous countries, including Nazi Germany, where it was condemned both for its provocative content and for Lamarr's Jewish heritage. In the United States, puritanical attitudes further fueled backlash, and the film was prohibited for years, only gaining limited releases after multiple legal battles. Religious authorities, including Pope Pius XI, denounced Ecstasy, labeling it a threat to public morality. Though Lamarr gained international fame from the controversy, the stigma from Ecstasy followed her throughout her life. The controversies in Lamarr's life were not limited to her film career. In 1966, decades after her Hollywood stardom had waned, she made headlines when she was accused of shoplifting $86 worth of merchandise from a department store in Los Angeles. The trial captivated the media, with many eager to see how the glamorous actress turned recluse would handle the accusations. Lamarr adamantly denied the charges, and she was ultimately acquitted. However, the incident cast a shadow on her reputation and became fodder for public gossip. In 1991, Lamarr faced a similar accusation in Florida when she was charged with shoplifting $21 worth of personal care items from a drugstore. This incident, though minor, brought her back into the public eye for reasons unrelated to her groundbreaking work in film or technology. The charges were eventually dropped, but by this point, Lamarr was living a modest and reclusive life far removed from her days as a Hollywood icon. These incidents painted a picture of a once glamorous star struggling to adjust to life away from the limelight. Another significant controversy in Lamarr's life revolved around her autobiography, Ecstasy and Me. My Life as a Woman, published in 1966. The book, which detailed Lamarr's personal and professional life, quickly became a bestseller due to its candid and often scandalous content. However, Lamarr disowned the book, claiming that its ghostwriter and publisher had fabricated many of the more salacious details to sensationalize her life story. She filed a lawsuit against the publisher, alleging that the book presented a distorted and negative image of her, describing it as obscene, shocking, scandalous, naughty, wanton, fleshy, sensual, lecherous, lustful, and scarlet. Although Lamarr's lawsuit ultimately failed, the controversy surrounding the autobiography further tarnished her public image. Despite these scandals, Lamarr's accomplishments as an actress and inventor eventually regained recognition, especially in the later years of her life. Her groundbreaking work on frequency hopping technology, which laid the foundation for Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, began to overshadow the controversies of her past. In 1997, she was honored with the Pioneer Award by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a long overdue acknowledgement of her contributions to science and technology. Hedy Lamarr's personal life was as dramatic and complex as the roles she portrayed on screen. Over the course of her life, she married 6 times, each marriage marked by turbulence, conflict, and eventual dissolution. While her beauty and intelligence captivated many, her relationships often reflected the struggles of a woman ahead of her time, striving for independence in a male-dominated world. Hedy's first marriage was to Friedrich Mandl, an Austrian munitions magnate and one of the wealthiest men in Europe. She married Mandl at the age of 18, and while their union initially promised luxury and security, it quickly became oppressive. Mandl was notoriously controlling and obsessive, forbidding Hedy from continuing her acting career. He even attempted to purchase all existing copies of her controversial film Ecstasy to prevent anyone from seeing her nude scenes. Mandl's possessiveness extended to every aspect of their lives, as he often showcased Hedy as a trophy wife at grand social gatherings attended by influential figures, including Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. Hedy later described her time with Mandl as akin to imprisonment, with her every move monitored. Deeply unhappy and disillusioned by her husband's authoritarian behavior and ties to fascist regimes, Hedy orchestrated a daring escape in 1937, fleeing Austria with her jewelry and wardrobe. This marked the end of her first marriage and the beginning of her journey to Hollywood. In 1939, shortly after establishing herself as a rising star in Hollywood, Hedy married Gene Markey, a screenwriter and producer. Their marriage was short-lived, but notable for Hedy's decision to adopt her first child, James Markey, during this period. Unfortunately, differences in personality and priorities led to the dissolution of their relationship in 1941. Hedy's third marriage was to British actor John Loder. The couple had 2 biological children, a daughter, Denise, and a son, Anthony. While this union lasted slightly longer than her previous marriages, it too ended in divorce. Loder later described their relationship as strained, with Hedy's demanding Hollywood schedule and Loder's own career ambitions creating a rift between them. Hedy's fourth husband, Ted Stauffer, was a former bandleader and nightclub owner known for his glamorous lifestyle. Their marriage lasted less than a year, with reports suggesting that their union was plagued by arguments and Hedy's growing frustration with her inability to find meaningful roles in Hollywood during this time. Her fifth marriage, to Texas oil tycoon W. Howard Lee, marked a turning point in Hedy's life. Initially, the union seemed promising, as Lee was wealthy, charming, and willing to support Hedy's efforts to produce films. She persuaded him to finance Eterna Femina, The Love of Three Queens, a historical anthology film in which she starred. Unfortunately, the film was a financial failure, and their marriage soon soured. The couple's divorce in 1960 was highly publicized and bitter, with Hedy accusing Lee of infidelity and financial misconduct. Hedy's final marriage was to Louis J. Boyes, an attorney who had represented her during her acrimonious divorce from W. Howard Lee. This marriage, like her others, was short-lived, lasting less than 2 years. Boyes' controlling tendencies and clashes over financial matters contributed to their separation. Following her sixth divorce, Hedy never remarried, choosing instead to live independently. Her later years were marked by financial difficulties, including costly lawsuits and legal battles that drained much of her fortune. Despite her tumultuous personal life, Hedy remained devoted to her children, though her relationships with them were not always smooth. Her son Anthony once stated that Hedy was a genius, but her brilliance was often misunderstood even by those closest to her. Hedy Lamarr's life was shaped not only by her marriages, but also by a network of fascinating relationships with key figures in Hollywood, the arts, and the sciences. Beyond her turbulent personal life, she cultivated friendships, partnerships, and collaborations that profoundly influenced her career and legacy. Hedy's professional relationship with Louis B. Mayer, the head of MGM Studios, was pivotal in launching her Hollywood career. Mayer discovered her in London in 1937, after she fled Europe. Initially reluctant to sign her because of her controversial role in Ecstasy, Mayer changed his mind and offered her a contract. After some negotiation, Hedy famously rejected his initial offer as insultingly low. She signed a 7-year deal with MGM. Mayer also insisted that she change her name from Hedwig Kiesler to Hedy Lamarr, drawing inspiration from silent film actress Barbara Lamarr. While Mayer's studio system helped make Lamarr a star, his control over her career also restricted her, often typecasting her in roles that capitalized on her beauty rather than her acting range or intellect. One of the most significant collaborations in Hedy's life was with avant-garde composer George Antheil. The two met at a dinner party in Hollywood in 1940 and discovered a shared interest in technology and innovation. Drawing on Hedy's knowledge of military weaponry from her first marriage to Austrian arms dealer Friedrich Mandl, and Antheil's expertise with automated musical instruments like player pianos, they developed a revolutionary frequency-hopping communication system. This technology was designed to prevent the jamming of radio-controlled torpedoes, a critical problem during World War II. In 1942, they were awarded a U.S. patent for their secret communication system. While the invention was not immediately adopted by the military, it later became the foundation for technologies such as Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. Antheil's artistic creativity and Hedy's technical insights made them an unlikely but highly effective team. Their collaboration, though largely unrecognized during their lifetimes, earned posthumous acclaim and solidified Hedy's reputation as a pioneering inventor. Hedy Lamarr worked closely with some of Hollywood's most celebrated actors and directors, establishing her as a fixture of the golden age of cinema. She co-starred with Spencer Tracy and Clark Gable in Boomtown, 1940, James Stewart in Come Live With Me, 1941, and Judy Garland and Lana Turner in Ziegfeld Girl, 1941. Her on-screen chemistry with these legends added to her allure and helped cement her image as a leading lady. Despite her professional success, Hedy often felt frustrated by the roles she was offered, which she believed failed to showcase her full potential as an actress. Off-screen, Hedy had a reputation for being both enigmatic and charming. She was known to attend glamorous Hollywood parties where she interacted with influential figures like Howard Hughes. Hughes, a fellow inventor and visionary, admired Hedy's intellect and encouraged her to explore her ideas. He provided her with equipment to work on inventions and even sought her input on his airplane designs. Hedy suggested streamlining the shapes of planes based on her observations of birds and fish, an idea Hughes later implemented. Hedy's work with legendary director Cecil B. DeMille on Samson and Delilah, 1949, was another highlight of her career. Playing the seductive and treacherous Delilah opposite Victor Mature, Hedy delivered one of her most memorable performances. DeMille recognized her ability to bring both beauty and complexity to the role, and the film became a massive box office success, solidifying her place in Hollywood history. Later in life, Hedy's relationships extended beyond Hollywood. She maintained connections in the art world, where her talent as a painter was recognized and celebrated in galleries. Additionally, her scientific contributions earned her admiration among inventors and engineers, particularly after her work on frequency hopping technology was rediscovered in the 1990s. Hedy Lamarr passed away on January 19, 2000, at the age of 85 or 86, depending on conflicting records of her birth year, in her modest home in Castleberry, Florida. Her death marked the quiet end of a life that had been anything but ordinary. She died of heart disease, leaving behind a legacy as one of Hollywood's most beautiful and enigmatic stars, as well as a trailblazing inventor whose scientific contributions had only begun to receive proper recognition in her later years. By the 1980s, Hedy had retreated almost entirely from public life. Years of disillusionment with Hollywood, failed marriages, legal battles, and financial difficulties had left her living in near solitude. Although she had been one of the most glamorous women in the world, her later years were starkly different from the glitz and luxury of her Hollywood heyday. Hedy chose to live a reclusive life in Florida, far from the spotlight that had once defined her. She reportedly spent most of her time indoors, rarely appearing in public. Hedy's relationship with her children during these years was complex. While she loved them deeply, there were periods of estrangement, particularly with her adopted son James. Despite this, she maintained regular contact with her other children, Anthony and Denise, through phone calls and letters. Hedy's later life was marked by financial instability. Although she had earned millions during her Hollywood career, costly lawsuits, lavish spending, and failed business ventures drained much of her fortune. Her tendency toward litigiousness, including lawsuits against publishers, filmmakers, and even department stores, further added to her financial woes. In her final years, Hedy lived modestly on a tight budget, relying on Social Security and support from her children. Despite her financial struggles, she remained proud and fiercely independent, refusing offers of help that she believed might compromise her dignity. It wasn't until the 1990s that Hedy Lamarr's contributions to science gained widespread recognition. In 1997, she received the prestigious Pioneer Award from the Electronic Frontier Foundation for her invention of frequency hopping technology with George Antheil. This technology, initially designed to protect military communications during World War II, would later become the foundation for modern wireless communication systems, including Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. When informed of the award, Hedy reportedly remarked, "It's about time," reflecting both her pride in her achievement and her frustration at his delayed acknowledgement. Hedy Lamarr's death was mourned by fans, filmmakers, and scientists alike. Her life story, filled with triumphs and struggles, has since inspired documentaries, biographies, and tributes. The 2017 documentary, Bombshell: The Hedy Lamarr Story, brought renewed attention to her pioneering work in technology, further cementing her status as a trailblazer. Hedy Lamarr's passing marked the end of a remarkable life, but her legacy continues to shine brightly. As a symbol of beauty, intelligence, and resilience, she serves as an enduring inspiration for generations to come. Her life reminds the world that brilliance comes in many forms, and that true legacies are often revealed long after the final curtain falls. Hedy Lamarr was far more than just a beautiful face on the silver screen. She was a pioneer, a trailblazer, and an inspiration. From her daring role in ecstasy to her invention that changed the world of communications, her legacy reminds us that brilliance can take many forms. Although her later years were marked by solitude, her impact lives on in our everyday lives, from the Wi-Fi we use to the movies we cherish. Thank you for joining us to celebrate the incredible journey of Hedy Lamarr. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts about her remarkable life in the comments below. See you next time.